Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. Tonight, we'll see whether Sir Tristram can keep his love for the Lady Isolde hidden, or if, finally, he'll be caught in the hands of his lover. Join me! And hello, Danny. Hello. How are you this evening? Oh, don't knock over the drink. How are you? Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Come in. Hello, Taz. Hello, Noel. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Avery. Come in. Sit yourself down. Welcome to tonight's tale. Tonight, I'm very excited to be sharing a saucy tale full of smiting, running, chapels, and a slight bit of nudity as well on Sir Tristram's part. So very, very excited for this. We're getting into some jolly good tales now that we've finally got the Lady Isolde in the castle, Sir Tristram in the court, and King Mark stood between the two lovers. This is the part of the tale that I really, really love. Very, very tense. Lots of daring do. I can't wait to share it with you guys tonight. Hello, hello, Marabont. Hello, Jay. Welcome. Come in. Well, I hope the saucy doesn't push you too far over the edge, Danny. But sauciness and smiting, the double S, is what we've got tonight, and it shall be a jolly good time. Hello, Helene. Come in. Hello, Avery. Hello. How are you this evening? Hello, Marabont. Hello. Come in. Sit yourself down. He says, struggling to get under his desk at the moment. Hello, hello. How is everyone this evening? I hope we're all very well. Yes, I like the sword things. I wish I could go and do the swords. Hello, Herbert. Hello, hello. Hello, Candyman. Hello, hello, hello. Come in, guys. Come in. Sit yourself down. Hello, Lai. Welcome to tonight's tales. We'll give it another minute or so before we get started. Then I'll give you a quick recap, because tonight's episode is absolutely mad-packed, chock-a-block, full of action. And we're looking forward to getting into it. I want to make sure we've got enough time to go and do it in all of its glory. Which is why we come here, isn't it? That, and also because I enjoy looking at myself in a giant mirror for an hour every evening, and really realising that the hair needs to be trimmed at this point. Problem is, I don't see it until I get home in the evening and I watch this. It's only when I'm doing this that I look at the hair and I go, oh ye gods, the fringe needs a trim. And then come tomorrow morning, it'll be the last thing on my mind. But that's just how it works. Anyway, we are telling, for those of you who are new, the tale of Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde. Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde were madly in love with each other when the Lady Isolde was taken by Sir Tristram to the court of King Mark to be made a wife unto King Mark. And so it was that King Mark ended up marrying a woman who was deeply in love with Sir Tristram, and found out that his own knight, Sir Tristram, was deeply in love with his wife. For poor King Mark, he'd always been jealous of Tristram's ability to woo the women of his court. And it so happens that rumours have come to his ear that his lady is spending a little bit too much time in the company of Sir Tristram. In fact, last episode, when Sir Tristram was found in the Lady Isolde's chambers speaking with her, King Mark, jealous, drew a sword and came at Sir Tristram, trying to claim his head. He did not succeed, for it seems that perhaps the only knight who could ever defeat Sir Tristram would be Sir Lancelot. Tristram, with King Mark coming towards him, wrenched the sword from his hand, and 5 times he slapped King Mark, his liege lord, on the back of the neck with the flat of the sword, leaving King Mark face down upon the castle floor and sending Sir Tristram running off into the forest. 32 knights did King Mark send after Tristram. Tristram killed 2 of them, wounded 30 of them, and eventually it was the council of King Mark's court that Sir Tristram should be allowed to return to the court, for he was too great an enemy to have. And so we are in a time of perhaps peace and merriment in the court of King Mark. It seems that perhaps all is forgiven, that maybe Sir Tristram was innocently speaking with the Lady Isolde in her chamber, and maybe this is a truth that King Mark can believe or not. Ladies and gentlemen, and hello Susan! Tonight we go and see just what happens and whether the peace between Sir Tristram and King Mark will hold, and whether the love that Sir Tristram and the Lady Isolde harbour for each other will stay contained, or will it spill out into chaos and destruction. Ladies and gents, let's get into tonight's show. And so it was that the king and the queen went hunting with Sir Tristram. And the king and the queen made their pavilions and their tents in a forest beside a river, and there was daily hunting and jousting there. For ever were there 30 knights ready to joust unto all of them that came in at that time. And there, by fortune, came Sir Lamorak de Galis and Sir Driant. And there Sir Driant jousted right well, but at the last he had a fall. Then did Sir Lamorak offer to joust. And when he began, he fared so with the 30 knights that were there, and there was not one of them that could give him a fall, and some of them were sorely hurt in the jousting. I marvel, said King Mark, of what knight he is that can do such deeds of arms. Sir, said Tristram, I know him well for a noble knight, as few now be living, and his name is Sir Lamorak de Galis. It was a great shame, said the king, that he should go thus away, unless that is some of you meet him better. Sir, said Tristram, it seems to me that it were no worship for a noble man to have ado with him, and for by cause at this time he has done over much for any mean knight living. Therefore, as meseemeth, it would be great shame and villainy to tempt him any more at this time, insomuch as he and his horse are now both weary for the deeds of arms they hath already done this day, and they are well considered, that it would be enough even if Sir Lancelot de Lake had done these deeds. As for that, said King Mark, I require you, as you love me and my lady, the Queen Isolde, to take your arms now, and joust with Sir Lamorak de Galis. Sir, said Sir Tristram, do you bid do me a thing that is against knighthood? And well I can deem that I shall give him a fall, for it's no mastery to do so. After all, my horse and I are both fresh, and so his horse is not, and neither is he, for they have fought 30 knights already this day, and know you well that he will take it for great unkindness, for ever one good knight is loath to take another at disadvantage. But if you insist, I will not displease you. As you require me to do, so will I do and obey your commandment. And so Tristram armed himself and took his horse, and put himself forth, and there Sir Lamorak met with him mightily with what he could of his own spear and of Sir Tristram's spear, and Sir Lamorak's horse fell to the earth, and he sitting in the saddle. And then anon, as lightly as he might, he rose, dodged out of the saddle of his horse, put his shield before him, and drew his sword, and then he bade Sir Tristram, even though he was weary from battle, alight, thou knight, and do your worst. No, said Tristram, I will no more have ado with thee, for I have done to thee too much already, and it has been to my dishonour and to your worship. As for that, said Lamorak, I can thee no thank. Since you have forjousted me on horseback, I require you, and I beseech thee, and you are Sir Tristram, so you will fight with me on foot. I will not, said Sir Tristram. And know you well that my name is Sir Tristram de Lyon, and well I know that you are Sir Lamorak de Galis, and this that I have done to you was against my will, but I was required to do so. But to say that I will do at your request as this time, I will have no more ado with you, for it shames me for what I've already done. As for this shame, said Sir Lamorak, on your part or of mine, bear thou, and thou wilt, for though a mare's son hath failed me, now a queen's son shall not fail thee, and therefore, if you are such a knight as men call thee, I require you to alight this instant, get down here, and fight with me. Sir Lamorak, said Sir Tristram, I understand that your heart is great, and cause why you have to say these sooth. For it would grieve me, and any knight should keep him fresh, and then to strike down a weary knight. For that knight nor horse was never formed, that always might stand or endure. And therefore, said Sir Tristram, I will not have ado with you, for I think that I am now done. As for that, said Sir Lamorak, I shall quit you an ever I see my time. Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, Sir Tristram has been forced to fight against Sir Lamorak, even though Sir Lamorak has defeated 30 knights in tournament, was weary, his horse was weary. Sir Tristram was forced by King Mark to fight against him, even though it was great dishonour to Sir Tristram. And perhaps King Mark knew this was great dishonour and did it deliberately. And thank you, Jennifer. Yes, the hair is growing mightily at the moment. May need bringing back in. Now, though, we'll see what happens. Hello, Mercurio. Hello, come in. Take up a seat. Now, we'll see what happens. Now, bad blood lies between Sir Lamorak and Sir Tristram, who refused to dishonour himself any further. What will become of poor Sir Tristram? And so he departed with him with Sir Driant, and by the way they met with a knight that was sent from Morgan le Fay unto King Arthur. And this knight had a fair horn harnessed with gold, and the horn had such a virtue that there might no lady nor gentlewoman drink of that horn, but if she were true to her husband. And if she were false, she should spill all the drink, but if she were true, she could drink that drink peaceably. And by cause of the Queen Guinevere, and in the despite of Sir Lancelot, this horn was being sent by Morgan le Fay unto King Arthur to show the deceit and treachery of Guinevere. And by force Sir Lamorak made that knight who bore the gift to tell all the cause of why he bore that horn. Now shalt you bear this horn, said Lamorak, unto King Mark, or else choose now to die for it. For I tell you plainly, in despite and reproof of Sir Tristram, you shall bear that horn unto King Mark his uncle, and say you to him, I have been sent to offer this unto your lady, for if she is true to you, this will prove her faithfulness. And so the knight went his way unto King Mark, and brought to him that rich horn, and said that Sir Lamorak had sent it to him. Thereto he told him the virtue of that horn. Then did the king make the Queen Isolde drink thereof, and 100 ladies. And there were but 4 ladies of all those who managed to drink it without spilling. Alas, said King Mark, this is a great despite. And he swore a great oath that she should be burnt, and all the other ladies of his court. Then the barons gathered themselves together, and said plainly that they would not have those ladies burnt for a horn made by sorcery, that came from as false a sorceress and witch that was Morgane le Fay. For that horn did never good but cause strife and debate, and always in her days Morgane le Fay had been an enemy to all true lovers. So there were many knights then who made their promise that if ever they did meet with Morgane le Fay, they would show her short courtesy. And also Sir Tristram was passingly angry that Sir Lamorak had sent that horn unto King Mark, for well he knew that it was done in despite of him. Therefore he thought to requite Sir Lamorak. And then did Sir Tristram use daily and nightly to go to Queen Isolde when he might, and ever did Sir Andred his cousin and spy watch him night and day, for him to take himself with the Lady Isolde. And so, upon a night, Sir Andred espied the hour and the time when Sir Tristram went to his lady. Then Sir Andred got unto him 12 knights, and at midnight he set upon Sir Tristram secretly and suddenly, and there Sir Tristram was taken naked in the bed with the Lady Isolde, and then he was bound hand and foot, so that he was kept until daybreak. Then, by the assent of King Mark and of Sir Andred, and of some of the barons, Sir Tristram was led unto a chapel that stood upon the sea rocks, there to take his judgment. And so he was led bound by 40 knights. And when Sir Tristram saw that there was no other boot but needs that he must die, he said, Fair lords, remember what I have done for the country of Cornwall, and in what jeopardy I have been in for the good of you all. For when I fought for the tribute of Cornwall against Sir Maurus the good knight, I was promised to be better rewarded, when you all refused to take the battle. And therefore, as you are good, gentle knights, see me not thus shamefully to die. For it is a shame to all knighthood to see me die in this way. For I dare say, said Sir Tristram, that I never met with no knight but I was as good as he or better. Fie upon thee, said Sir Andred, false traitor, you are with thine avaunting. For all you boast now, you shall die this day. Oh, Andred, Andred, said Sir Tristram, you should be my kinsman. And now you are to me fully unfriendly. But, and there were no more but kinsmen but thou, and I wouldst not be put to death. No, said Sir Andred, and therewith he drew his sword, and would have slain him. But when Sir Tristram saw him make that face, he looked upon both of his hands that were fast bound unto 2 knights, and suddenly he pulled both knights to him, unwrapped his hands, and then leapt unto his cousin Sir Andred, wrestled his sword out of his hands, and then he smote smote Sir Andred so he fell to the earth, and Sir Tristram fought till he had killed 10 knights in that chapel by the sea. And so then Sir Tristram got from the chapel and kept it mightily, and the cry was great, and the people drew fast unto Sir Andred, more than 100. And when Sir Tristram saw the people break unto him, he remembered he was naked, and ran fast for the chapel doors to break the bars of a window. And then he leapt out, fell upon the crags of the sea, and at that time neither Sir Andred nor none of his followers might get to Sir Tristram. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end tonight's tale. Sir Tristram finally caught naked and abed with Queen Isolde, sentenced to death. But like a true action hero that Sir Tristram is, the Jack Bauer of the medieval world, he's managed to escape, throw off his foes, escape from the chapel even though he was naked and didn't even have a sword, and now he's running free, so that tomorrow night we'll chase after him and see just what happens to poor old Sir Tristram. How is that? Exciting times. Naked chapel smiting. I told you it was going to get steamy, Danny. I told you there was steaminess coming up here. But thank you. Yes. Being naked is small fry if you're fighting off 100 knights in a chapel and you don't have a sword. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that. I really enjoyed telling that as well. I think that was probably one of my most fun scenes to read. And not that most fun is a word. My favourite. That's one of my most. I can't stop using the word most. That was my favourite scene to read to you guys so far, I think, in this season of the book. I really enjoyed doing that one with you guys. So thank you so much for being here to listen to me share it all with you. It was a huge amount of fun. Almost at the end of this season, but not at the end of the Tale of Sir Tristram, not by any measure. But tomorrow night, excellent. I'm glad that you loved it, Herbert. Well, I'm glad that at least this made you smile, Vasala. At least this worked. Tomorrow night will be the last tale for the week. I'm going to be out on Monday. So I probably... Oh, that's funny. I'm going to be away. I'll be away on Friday and Monday. So there's no show Friday and Monday, but we'll be back again Tuesday. Obviously we've got a show tomorrow for Thursday, so it'll be Thursday and then Tuesday for the next show after that. So please do come and join me for tomorrow night. It's going to be rollicking good fun and I can't wait. So big thanks to Danny and Noel and Taz and Avery, Herbert and Susan, Mark, Queen, Jenny and Vasala. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this evening. In about 5 minutes' time, we'll be doing the Poetry Live show. And tonight on Poetry Live... No, I'm not here Friday. Friday and Monday, I'm gone, Queen. I'm gone on Friday and Monday. So, Thursday, you have to make do with me on Thursday and then miss me long time for an extended weekend before I get back. But yes, poetry coming up in 5 minutes' time. Tonight, I'm going to go and share some Shelley with you. I think it's about time I got back to sharing some romantics. So, Shelley is on his way. Percy Shelley, that is, not his lovely wife. But that's coming up still, and I hope you guys will join me for that. But it won't be so bad. It'll be fine. You guys can withstand 4 days without me, I'm sure. I'll tweet pictures of, motorway cafes and all that jazz. For those of you who want to see what motorway cafes look like as I go down south. Probably quite foggy at the moment. Excellent. Well, Taz, I will see you at the end of that. Anyway, I'm going to go run off downstairs, ladies and gents, grab myself some Shelley, and then I'll see you back up here in a few minutes' time, and we'll get on with tonight's episode of Poetry Live. Thank you so much for coming. I am following you, aren't I, Susan? I thought I was. If I'm not following you, I do apologise. I will be following you now. I thought I was following you. Danny, don't even joke. There are we do get sheep on the motorway up here. It's a pain in the backside. I don't want any sheep going down south. It's there. But right, I'm off. See you guys back again in a few minutes.